Hello everyone and welcome to the special world on Super Mario World. I am one Welsh sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, good god, that's a lot harder to say than I expected. We're going to be taking on the hardest stages in the game, and every one of these stages is quite unique in that they have one very specific trait. They are named after 90s slang, like you have tubular, gnarly, and radical, and all those sort of words as level names, you know. A lot of people get annoyed at me sometimes because I do tend to use those words in normal everyday conversation anyway, a lot of people find these level names strange, but I don't mind them because I speak like that anyway. Apart from bodacious, I never use the word bodacious. That's just insane. But anyway, these are the hardest set of levels in the entire game, which means we do need to keep on our toes and be as quick getting through some of these stages as possible. And believe it or not, some of these levels are actually done on my first time. You know, it's quite. I'm shocked at myself for being able to beat some of these stages in one go. It's just, it's weird, because everyone I know always has troubles with these stages, especially one particular stage, which I believe is actually the second stage in this world we need to take on, which is my least favourite one myself, where you have to use a certain power-up. And this certain power-up, you have to go across a bottomless pit. There is no level behind this level, it is just painful. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Actually, I believe that is next, so onwards we go to the next one, Tubular. What many people consider to be the hardest stage in the entire game, and it really is pretty damn tubular. Of course, I said a minute ago I never used bodacious in my LPs, not LPs, in my everyday speech. That's probably a lie, because I do remember saying that in a couple of LPs before. I digress. Anyway, the big thing by here in this mission is we need to capture all these pea balloons and fly across this bottomless chasm. If you hit the bottom of the screen, you're going to die. If anything touches you, you're going to die unless you get exceptionally lucky and it just hits your hitbox like it did with me. And right now it's just a matter of maneuvering yourself, and really it's just really hard. This is the hardest level in the entire game. It's not so bad when you know what you're doing, but when you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna have some tricksy issues, you know? Come on, I want to get the 50-pointer. If I can, anyway, it's pretty... No, I got 27. Although, one good thing I do like is, if you actually hit the... If you have certain objects on you at a certain time, whenever you hit the end goalposts, those objects will sometimes transform into an item you can use. For example, shells will usually transform into like mushrooms and stuff. The pea balloon will turn into a mushroom, and I don't know. It's a neat little detail that I don't think many people really care about. Anyway, this mission by here, screw this mission, I'm flying. Because this is the worst mission, my personal least favourite mission in the entire game, ladies and gentlemen. This mission is so damn bad. If you're wondering what this mission looks like, look it up. Because, dear God, it's awful. What you need to do is basically you need to ride this giant line thing and push these switches at the right times. But the thing is, the game tricks you. So if you push certain switches at the wrong time, even though you think it's the right switch, you're gonna die. And honestly, I do not like this level. I really do not. It's too much trial and error for me. So screw it, I'm flying past it. That level was not cool. And this level is not awesome because now we have to fight ice physics. Now, like I said, ice physics normally don't bother me in this game, because this game is really, this is like the best controlling Mario game to date, you know. There hasn't been a Mario game since this one that controls this good. But this level, I do not like playing it because we have to go and maneuver across all these ice and deal with all these enemies. And trust me, they throw tons of enemies at you, tons of these Koopas that want to kick you. And we have the return of the Cheep Cheep Bridge. Now, if you guys remember Super Mario Bros. 1, we had a section where you had Cheep Cheeps jumping at you all the time. Now, fortunately, the game does give you a Power Star, Invincibility Star, but the thing is, you can't use the Invincibility Star if you want to beat the stage, because this Koopa right here, we need to use him to bounce off in order to reach the next platform. This is hard, because the next platform is one block, and the ice physics can push you off the block just fine, you know, I made the stage look quite easy, but trust me, that's a really, really challenging level. It basically tests your control on ice physics, really, more than anything. Like, if this stage was not covered in ice, that level would be easy. So, just a bit of food for thought, you know? Sometimes ice is a challenge in and of itself. Groovy! You can just sort of chuck Earthworm Jim's voice in this one, can't you? Groovy! I can't do Earthworm Jim's voice. You know, he is essentially Homer Simpson, but... Anyway, this might look familiar to you folks. This is the title screen. We are now playing the title screen. And one of my favorite things to do in this mission sometimes is to try and emit, you know, try and copy the title screen of Mario World perfectly to see if I'm able to do it. You know, I don't know. It's just a neat little fun thing. I'm playing about the skill of the guy on the title screen, but oh man, God, give me Yoshi. Thank you. But yeah, it's not a hard level. It's quite an easy level. Probably the easiest of the special world levels. Especially when you get the blue shell and decide to say fuck you to the level like I am doing. Okie dokie, time to fly. Although I say it's probably one of the easiest special stage worlds in the game. I did die a couple of times to it, so there's that, I suppose. But yeah. Also, those I don't think we've actually seen those blocks yet. Those are time blocks. If you hit the block at the right time, certain items will pop out, and I was fortunate enough to get hold of the block that has the power star in, which is probably my favorite. I love getting power stars in this game because so many extra lives can get caught from them. Like, I'm surprised you don't see power stars more often in the more recent games. You know, power stars are like a really rare thing to have, and when you see them, you're there for a set course. But sometimes in this game, you have the opportunity to get power stars on your own. You know, of your own accord, if you're good enough at timing things, and I like that. Mondo. Now that's a word I never use. I don't think I heard anyone ever use the word Mondo, even back when I was growing up in the 90s. Yeah, I've never heard a single person say the word Mondo before in my life. And I am a 90s kid, you know, I was born and raised during the 90s era when these words were hip, when they were cool, you know, when they were up there with all the kids' linguistics, yo. Word. Waka waka. I'm being hip, am I not? But yeah, this stage by here is quite awkward because we have to deal with this rising and dropping water. But I am thankful they didn't put that stupid bloody big Bertha fish that can get you one hit in this particular stage, because otherwise the stage would legitimately be godlike hard. But fortunately, the game designers were safe with that, and it's more of a calm, you know, it's more of a calm level to go through, assuming you're good at dodging fish and swimming. If you're not good at swimming, you're gonna have some issues, but not too many issues, you know. Plus, it's a chance to give Yoshi some sushi, because who doesn't like sushi? What even is a sushi anyway? Luigi never tried sushi, see? Mario keeps saying it smells fishy, but I have no idea what it is. For the record, I do know what sushi is. I was just making a joke that Luigi doesn't know. You know, the character probably does know, but... Nee. I'm trying to be funny, damn it. Laugh at me. Laugh. But anyway, with my outrageous demands, it's time to go to an outrageous level here. And this stage offers a lot of wigglers, and I don't like this level. I really do not like this level, and I think it's purely because of the flame trails and the bullet bills. The flame trails, they're really a minor nuisance that don't really do much, but the bullet bills, this stage is littered with bullet bills, and that's why I don't like it. You can try going through the stage, but the same complaint I have about the bullet bills in the classic games hold true in this game, and that's, well, I guess this counts as a classic game because this is the 4th Mario game, but the bullet bills I find tend to jump, you know, they get shot out of the cannon at pretty much random times. They come out at random intervals. So, I don't like the bullet bills that much. Although I have to be honest, one thing that I do like is all these special worlds, there's only one exit to them. They're very linear levels, so you don't have to worry about finding the right exit to get out, and that block didn't give me anything. Oh, I got a rip-off. I got a rip-off. See, that was one of those Koopa. That was one of those men saying Koopa troll blocks. I've heard of the mystical troll block, but I've never seen one in action before now. For the record, I don't actually know what that block's meant to give you. I think it's meant to give you just a coin, but for some reason it gave you nothing anyway when I was playing. So, well, I don't know. This game hasn't been the most stable game when I was recording. Like when I got hurt when I was on Yoshi, and loads of weird nuances like that happened. It's quite strange. But yeah, that's one outrageous level done and dusted. Ooh la la. Which is heading us on to Funky. You mean that one Donkey Kong character? Funky Kong? And don't worry folks, I am getting to Donkey Kong Country not soon, but I am getting to it. Oh come on, that's an awful place to put Yoshi. Thank you, game. Thank you. That's just cruel. I can't get up there. Ugh. But yeah, the Donkey Kong Country game, I'm not getting to for a while. I'm not a big fan of those game series. I'm not really don't like Donkey Kong Country too much. Like I liked Tropical Freeze enough to record it. That was actually my first one of my first LPs on this channel, but that's all I can say. Anyway, I digress. This stage right here is the longest stage in the entire game, and it's basically a speedrun level. You need to try and get to the end as quick as physically possible, you know, because if you don't, well, time's gonna run out and you're gonna die. It sounds harder than it is, though, you know. It's actually not that hard a level. Just keep at a reasonable pace, and you should get through just fine, you know. Just don't try and rush too much, because otherwise you're gonna run into enemies and you can die just because you're panicking on trying to beat the level quickly enough. But it doesn't really help though when the timer goes off, because I really panic when I hear the da 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 da. But fortunately, you are the super player. That's what those coins say, if you can't read, for the illiterate. So there we go, it's a super player. We've now beat the secret worlds of Super Mario World. What does that mean? Well, that means we've beaten pretty much every single level in the entire game, and now we can move on directly to Bowser's Castle, which will be into the next part. Now that you might wonder, why is there like a couple of minutes left to this video, like 3 minutes? Well, that's because I want to show off what happens when you beat the secret world. Well, basically the entire world goes into like its overworld goes into this autumn setting, and whenever you're walking around, what's this? It's a mask. Everything turns into Halloween. The Koopa Troopers literally are cosplaying as Mario for Halloween. And there's loads of weird things like this throughout the entire game, you know. Loads of enemies change. I like it, you know. For example, all the masks, all the Koopa shells change color, all the masks are basically just masks. Chad and Chucks don't change at all. You have the piranha plants that turn into pumpkins. Bullet bills turn into flying birds of death. You know, there's loads of nuances that I kind of like seeing. Like, this game, it's not the best bonus I've ever had in a game for beating it, but it's good, you know? The best bonus I've ever had in a game for beating it has to be in Mario Galaxy 1, where you can beat the entire game again as Luigi, because that was just good. Make Luigi a good character again. Well, I say that, but he's been playable in the last 3 games. So, nah. Oh, will I be able to get... Oh, sweet! I got all 8 one-ups, perfect! Which basically means we are now 100% prepared for the final castle. I may end up going to this top secret area just to grind up on some items here. But yeah, we're close to the end. We've got one more part, folks. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a part here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy. Don't be sheepish, people. When we return next time, we will be heading on back to the final castle of the game to beat good old King Koopa himself. So thanks for watching, people. Don't be sheepish. I'll catch you all next time. Bye!